Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, the Eternal First Lady. Jacqueline Lee Bouvier Kennedy Onassis, known to the world simply as Jackie Kennedy, remains one of the most iconic women in American history. Her story is not just one of privilege and glamour, but also of resilience, loss, and reinvention. She embodied elegance and intellect, shaping not only the image of the White House, but also the way America viewed itself during one of the most turbulent decades of the 20th century. Born on July 28, 1929, in Southampton, New York, Jackie grew up in a wealthy but complicated family. Her father, John Black Jack Bouvier, was a charismatic stockbroker known for his charm and his flaws. Her mother, Janet Lee Bouvier, came from an affluent background and pushed her daughters toward refinement, social grace, and education. Jackie's childhood was split between the affluence of Manhattan society and the fractures of her parents' troubled marriage. When her parents divorced, she learned early about instability and the importance of personal poise. From a young age, Jackie displayed intelligence and curiosity. She loved literature, art, and horseback riding, winning awards for her equestrian skills. After attending Miss Porter's school, she went on to study at Vassar College, later spending time abroad at the Sorbonne in Paris. France would leave a lasting impression on her, shaping her appreciation for culture, architecture, and fashion. Jackie's ability to speak fluent French and her knowledge of European art later became assets during her years in the White House. After graduating from George Washington University in 1951, Jackie worked briefly as a photographer for the Washington Times-Herald, where she interviewed political figures and ordinary citizens alike. It was through Washington's social circles that she eventually met a young, ambitious senator from Massachusetts, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Their courtship was the beginning of a partnership that would capture the imagination of the nation. Jackie and John married on September 12, 1953, in a grand ceremony in Newport, Rhode Island. She quickly adapted to the public life of a senator's wife, though she preferred books and art to the rough and tumble of politics. Jackie was naturally shy, but her grace, elegance, and intellect drew people to her. When John F. Kennedy ran for president in 1960, Jackie played a subtle yet powerful role. She gave interviews in Spanish to reach Latino voters and impressed Americans with her elegance. After Kennedy's victory, Jackie, at just 31 years old, became First Lady. It was a role she embraced not through speeches or political battles, but through culture, restoration, and style. As First Lady, Jackie Kennedy redefined the White House. She spearheaded an ambitious project to restore the historic mansion, filling it with authentic furniture, art, and decor from previous administrations. She invited renowned artists, writers, and musicians to events, turning the White House into a cultural center. Millions of Americans watched her famous televised tour of the White House in 1962, which not only showcased her vision, but also won her widespread admiration. Jackie's fashion sense also captivated the world. Her pillbox hats, tailored suits, and understated jewelry became trademarks of her style. Designers like Oleg Cassini helped craft her image, but it was Jackie herself who carried it with natural elegance. She symbolized youth, sophistication, and a new era of American confidence, often referred to as Camelot, a term later used to romanticize her husband's presidency. But behind the glamour, Jackie endured personal struggles. She faced multiple pregnancies that ended in miscarriage or infant loss. In August 1963, Just months before tragedy struck, she gave birth to a son, Patrick, who died 2 days later. Despite these heartbreaks, she maintained composure in public, shielding her grief from the world. On November 22nd, 1963, the course of her life and the nation's history changed forever. In Dallas, Texas, Jackie sat beside President Kennedy when he was assassinated. The shocking event was seared into collective memory, not least because of Jackie's calm presence in the chaos. Dressed in her pink Chanel suit, stained with her husband's blood, she became a symbol of dignity in the face of unimaginable loss. In the aftermath, Jackie focused on protecting her children, Caroline and John Jr., while preserving her husband's legacy. She arranged for an eternal flame to burn at his grave in Arlington National Cemetery, a powerful symbol of remembrance. In 1968, Jackie remarried, this time to Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis. The marriage provided her and her children security and privacy, though it shocked many Americans. Despite criticism, Jackie valued the protection Onassis could offer her family after years of exposure and tragedy. When Aristotle Onassis died in 1975, Jackie reinvented herself once more. She moved to New York City and built a career as a respected book editor. At Viking Press and later Doubleday, she worked on projects ranging from biographies to art books, immersing herself in the world of publishing. No longer simply a former First Lady or a widow, she established an independent identity, admired for her intellect and professionalism. In her later years, Jackie became a beloved elder stateswoman of American culture. She dedicated time to historic preservation, helping save New York landmarks such as Grand Central Terminal. Her life had transformed from society debutante to First Lady, widow, wife, mother, and finally an independent professional woman. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis passed away on May 19, 1994, at the age of 64, after a battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Her funeral, attended by world leaders and ordinary citizens alike, reflected the deep admiration she commanded. She was buried beside President Kennedy in Arlington, her eternal flame still burning. Jackie Kennedy's legacy remains one of elegance, intelligence, and resilience. She taught America that grace could coexist with strength, and that culture and style could have as much power as politics. To this day, her image, whether smiling in the White House, standing stoically in Dallas, or walking the streets of New York in her oversized sunglasses, continues to inspire generations. She was not only the most famous woman in America during her lifetime, but also one of the most enduring symbols of grace in modern history. Jackie Kennedy Onassis remains, in the hearts of many, the eternal First Lady.